Have you ever seen an identity shifting video that didn't end with the same recycled advice? Journal, say affirmations, pretend to be someone you're not until somehow it becomes true. This is not going to be one of those videos. I'm going to give you the truth about what identity shifting really is and how to actually do it. You might be wondering who I am to make such a bold statement. Before we're done, I'll show you where you can find real footage of me helping clients shift their identities, something you won't see from others making videos on this topic. The shift you're looking for is not a new way to chase what you want even harder than you already are. What you want is to become the person who has what you want so you don't have to chase it. When you use what I'm going to show you, you'll learn how to embody any quality you value, from freedom to passion, peace, joy, vitality, success, and make it a natural part of who you are. What is identity shifting really? First, what is it not? It's not trying harder. It's not trying to force change or layer positive talk over old pain. Identity shifting is changing a belief about yourself. And I'm not talking about wishful thinking. I'm talking about a belief you actually believe is true about you. Most of your beliefs about yourself are deeply unconscious, so you're not even aware of them. And yet, they govern how you behave, how much success you will or won't have, and how happy and fulfilled you allow yourself to be. Let's first talk about how to change these beliefs that you're not even aware of, and later I'll show you how to uncover them from your unconscious. What most people get wrong about changing beliefs is they try to change them by convincing themselves of what they wish was true. Affirmations are a good example of this. When that doesn't work, you try to will or discipline yourself into a new you. If either of those things worked, you wouldn't be watching this video. The fastest and most effective way to change a belief is to go to the structure of the belief. And that might sound out of reach, but structuring beliefs is actually something your brain already knows how to do. You've been doing it your whole life, just unconsciously. So all you have to do is become conscious of this process. Every belief you have about yourself, that you're disciplined, lazy, strong, weak, smart, broken, it came from your own lived experiences. And the way your brain coded those experiences is what formed your identity. That coding is what I refer to as structure. So if identity is a structure, then identity shifting is about learning how to recode structure, not fake it, not force it, but update it. And when you do that, when the structure shifts, the meaning you make of who you are shifts. From there, you explore your potential from a place of curiosity rather than trying to chase it down and corner it. But before we get to how the structure shifts, we need to clear some noise. Because if you're like most people I work with, you've already been trying to shift, using advice that sounds good, but it never quite delivers. Let's break it down. Journaling. I do it every day. It's a great tool for reflection, clarity, and unloading mental baggage. But journaling alone is like talking about change rather than actually making it. It's introspective, not transformational. If you're lucky, you'll stumble across some insights, but insight doesn't equal shift. Affirmations. Repeating what you don't believe creates inner friction. It's like trying to paint confidence over insecurity. You say I'm powerful, but your nervous system says, no, you're not. Now you've got a fight happening inside, and that costs energy and divides your attention. If you keep repeating it long enough, either you numb out or worse, you fall into a fantasy and disconnect from reality. Either way, not only are you no closer to shifting your identity, you're actually closer to an identity crisis. Fake it till you make it? Let me put this bluntly. Faking doesn't make anything real. It teaches your unconscious mind that who you are isn't enough. And the longer you fake, the more disconnected you become from the real you, the one who's already capable. Faking is slow erosion, and eventually you lose track of what's real. Discipline and willpower, these tools can work temporarily, but they're built on terrible foundations. If you're constantly forcing yourself, something deeper is misaligned. That internal fight, that push, is a clue. Willpower might move the needle for a moment, but it always burns out. And when it does, you're back where you started, but now with the feeling not good enough layered on top. On a good day, these approaches are harmless and ineffective. Taken too seriously, they can become destructive. Regardless, what you need to know is they're not going to get you to where you want to go. If you're trying to change your behavior and you keep getting pulled back, it's because the belief about who you are never changed. And you cannot grow beyond who you believe yourself to be. What I'm giving you, I learned from one of the most brilliant minds I've ever encountered. the late Steve Andreas. He developed what's called the self-concept model in Neuro Linguistic Programming, NLP. It's the framework I've used for over a decade to help clients transform their identity, not just change behavior, but become someone new in a way that feels familiar because it's already rooted in your actual life. Here's how it works. Your identity isn't a fact. It's a pattern built from memories shaped by emotion and organized by your unconscious mind. You go through life collecting experiences. You give those experiences meaning. That meaning turns into beliefs. And when those beliefs are about you, they start stacking into something bigger, your self-concept. Here's an example of how these beliefs are formed in early childhood. A kid gets told he's smart by a teacher, then by a parent, then by a friend. Enough repetitions in meaningful contexts, and he begins to believe it. Not just, I did something smart, but I am smart. And it's based on something he actually did. But the same thing happens in the other direction. Another kid, just as smart, in same environment, gets called dumb. Told he's a screw-up, made fun of when he tries. Over time, he starts believing, I'm not enough. Different inputs, different outcomes, same wiring. How different do you think their lives will be from each other? One holding an unconscious belief that he's not enough, and the other growing up believing he's intelligent. Extremely different. And the only thing making that different is a belief about themselves, not their actual potential and abilities. But here's the good news. You don't need several years of journaling, affirmations, and discipline, nor do you have to spend the next several years trying to create new experiences to create a new identity. It's much easier to recode experiences you've already lived so that you believe you are who you want to be. That kid who believed he's not enough, he doesn't have to change his childhood or chase new experiences to transform that belief. With the self-concept model, you restructure the experiences that already happened in a way that draws your unconscious attention to the times when you aligned with your highest values, while accepting the times that you did not. This is how you move from trying to be confident to just being someone who is. This is not about tricking yourself. It's about reorganizing your experiences in a more useful way. There's already plenty of evidence in your life that you already are the qualities you desire most. You've just never been taught how to organize that evidence to support the version of you that you truly want to be. I'll walk you through how this works. Something everyone wants: freedom. That can come in the form of financial freedom, autonomy in your career, and just being who you are without worrying about what other people think of you. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want, not answering to anyone, maybe having enough money to make your own rules. That's not wrong, but that kind of freedom is limited. The truest freedom you'll ever know is the freedom to be true to yourself, especially when it comes to the choices that shape your life. To act in alignment with your values, to not pretend, perform, or filter everything through what you think others expect. What I'm describing here is that the way to access the highest levels of freedom is by being authentic. Now, people hear that and say, I am being myself. But when I ask, are you an authentic person? Most say, sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. If you say you're only authentic sometimes, that means it's not solid in your identity. And when you're not sure if you're being who you truly are, it doesn't feel good. You'll doubt yourself, hold back, and feel like you're not worthy. You might even worry that people will see you as a fraud. That's not freedom. Being authentic has less to do with the actual ratio of times you've been true to yourself versus the times you were not. What matters more is how you see those moments. If you focus more on the times you weren't being authentic, that's what your brain will believe. That's what becomes your reality. But if you look back and highlight the many moments where you were authentic, even the small ones, and see them as more important, you start to believe it. You're not ignoring the other times. You're just putting your attention where it helps you most. That's how you shift into seeing yourself as an authentic person. And when you believe yourself to be authentic, you're free. Your life will begin to reflect that reality immediately. You'll find yourself doing things you never thought you could. How you do this is not by trying to force your attention to positive examples of you being authentic. That's where all of those other identity shifting videos go wrong. All you need to do is discover how you're structuring beliefs about yourself that you feel certain about and that you like about yourself. You then map that structure to the qualities that you want to feel certain about, but don't feel certain about. This is what is meant by recoding. It's so much faster and easier than doing any of those other things that are supposed to shift your identity, but don't. When you do this, you will consistently and automatically align with these new beliefs so that it feels natural and from this point on becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So here's an exercise for you to try in order to understand how this works. Think of a quality that you like about yourself and that you feel certain about. Ask yourself, how do you know that you are that quality? Do you see an image of you being that quality or an internal voice that lets you know that you are that quality? For example, I'm certain of being a persistent person. I see lots of images of me being persistent to my left side, and I see one image at a time. My wife, though, she is certain about being a happy person, and she sees lots of images at once, like a collage just above eye level in the center. Once you've got that, now put that aside and think about a quality that you value, but you don't feel like you are that quality. At least you're not certain about it. It can be qualities like authentic, passionate, joyful, successful. When you think about being that quality, does it feel like sometimes you are that quality and sometimes you're not? Or do you feel like you're just not that quality at all, even though you value it? Choose one and think about how you know that you feel that way. Are the images in the same location as the certain quality, or are they different sizes, maybe different colors? Usually these details will not be the same as the quality you feel certain about. How is it different? You probably notice right away that you pay more attention to the experiences of you not being the quality you want to be for the quality you don't feel certain about. All you need to do is restructure the uncertain quality to match the coding of the certain quality to shift your feeling about it from uncertainty to certainty. There are many details that differentiate a certain quality from a non-certain quality. I'm giving you the basics because I can't capture all of them in a 15-minute video. But if you are interested to learn more about this, I'll let you know where you can get started in a moment. This short exercise is just the beginning of how you recode a quality. What I mean by recoding is when you restructure a quality that you don't feel certain about to the same structure as a quality that you do feel certain about. If you're wondering why I'm focusing on qualities of identity rather than identity as a whole, it's because your identity is a massive generalization. It's a massive generalization of all of the qualities you possess, both positive and negative. In other words, it's too big to change directly. This is why you get stuck when you try to change yourself. We have to chunk down to the smaller generalizations you make about yourself that I refer to as qualities. Every time you transform a quality that you value into a quality that you feel certain about within yourself, that's a transformation. That's an identity shift. The more of these transformations you have, the more you transform into the person you want to be, the person who creates the life that you want to live. And if you don't already know how to eat an elephant, here's a bonus tip: one bite at a time. Transform yourself one quality at a time. Otherwise, you will just frustrate yourself and stay stuck. The good news is that once you transform a quality, it's not something you have to practice. Changes at the identity level, when made correctly, will stick. And the best news of all, you don't have to go out and try to make new authentic experiences when you recode your past. You will naturally align with this new belief, and you will automatically live new authentic experiences. The next time you think you need more freedom, remember, it's not out there. It's already in you. So how do you uncover unconscious beliefs about yourself that limit you if you're not conscious of them? There are numerous ways, but I will give you the fastest and easiest one. We tend to be more aware of the beliefs of the world around us than the beliefs that we have about ourselves. They're just easier to find. One way you can uncover this is to think about something you want to accomplish or want to create in your life. What stops you from accomplishing it or creating it? What comes up? Write it down. Is it because you don't have enough time or money? Is it the economy? Fear of failure? Once you know what it is that's stopping you, then ask yourself, what must you believe about yourself for that to be true? This is where journaling can be very useful. Identify your limiting beliefs and then ask yourself what you would rather believe about yourself instead of those limiting beliefs, and write those down. Now you know where to start. So the only question that's left is, will you start? You can keep chasing, you can keep pushing, grinding, reaching, hoping the next achievement finally unlocks growth and freedom. Or you can turn inward and shift the only thing that has the power to change everything else, your identity. Because when you become the person who is already worthy, already aligned, already capable, the rest falls into place. Beliefs change, behaviors shift, the outer world starts to mirror your inner truth. This is how lasting change actually happens. Before I show you how to continue learning this, and also those demonstrations I promised, You may be wondering more about the man who created this model, my mentor, Steve Andreas. If you are, then I have something for you at the end of this video. If you're ready to take the next step, check out the description below this video for more resources. And if you want to actually see what identity shifting looks like in real life, I've linked a playlist below where you can watch me guide real clients through this process. So if you want to know more about how this technology was created and the man behind it, watch this next video. His work changed my life. It's already changed more than 1,000 lives, and it will change yours too.